All right, this is dispatch number 2 coming at you here. I want to talk for a minute about the culture of the left and how fucking terrible it is, frankly. I mean, we're in a situation where our planet is being destroyed. You know, social injustice is so rampant you would not believe it if you just came on this situation. I mean, police are shooting down people in the streets. We've got, immigrants being rounded up and treated like animals and deported. We've got sexual assault is a complete epidemic. There are so many problems that we see in the world today, and the response of the left has been relatively tepid. We're not seeing the same sort of revolutionary fervor that we saw 30, 40, 50 years ago when people were confronting these same issues. Part of that's because of neoliberalism. People have gotten twisted into this whole way of thinking about change your own personal behavior. And, these are expressions of things that are worthwhile and meaningful. And certain people believe that it's okay, so you can't criticize it. You can't say that that's wrong. And, that's bullshit. So I'm here to talk in favor of liberation politics and revolutionary politics. We're looking at systems of power. We're talking systemic analysis here and looking at how we can destroy these things, how we can change these systems, because honestly, reformatory change, look, I'm okay with reformers. If that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to pour your energy into, go for it. I'm not going to tell you not to, because that's a hell of a lot better than sitting on your ass and doing nothing all day. So, if people are into that, then go for it, do your best, because reforms do make a difference, They do save people's lives. They do clean up specific rivers. They do save certain places. They do, reduce police violence in certain cases. They do help women in certain communities in certain ways. That's great. That's wonderful. It's incredible work. But at the same time, we need huge revolutionary change. We need to overthrow these systems at their root and destroy these systems of power completely. And when I look at the right wing, I see a movement that has that ideology and that understanding of power built into it. They've been working with that understanding for a long time because they essentially have been on the top of the pyramid. They know about power. They know how to use it. They know how to wield it. And they know how to grow it. So that's what they've been doing, and that's why we see this huge resurgence of the right wing in this country and around the world, is because the right wing has been building fundamental bases of power and building communities of resistance from the ground up, and building their ideology and building their political power and their strength and their economic base and so on. So I want to talk to you real quick about this book that I read recently that was called Resistance to Tyranny by this guy Joseph P. Martino. And first thing I want to say is this guy is a military. I think he was a colonel in the Air Force. He served in Thailand, and this dude is right wing. He is. It's pretty clear in the book he's against all sorts of environmentalism. He's against leftist and revolutionary organizations. Excuse me. This is not a cool dude, generally speaking. But the book is great, and I think we need to learn and listen to things like this, because this, again, is coming from that place where the right wing has built such a base of power. They have an understanding of how these things happen. And you look at this book, let me read through the chapters. Why armed resistance? Probability of success, government response, strategy and tactics, the big picture. Grab some water right here. Overt and covert resistance. That's essentially like underground and above ground. Personal weapons, personal equipment, survival skills, land navigation, camouflage and concealment. Hold up, I need to get some water. I'm talking too fast. I'm getting excited here and getting ahead of myself. Okay. Camouflage and concealment. Booby traps. Weapons caching. Logistics, training, secure camps, safe houses and secure areas, communications, encryption and codes, getting your story out, attack and defense, ambushes, sniping and counter-sniping, assassination, sabotage, raids, strategic and tactical intelligence, counterintelligence, and so on. So, basically what I'm trying to say here is that this is some serious stuff, This guy's serious about resistance movements. And when you look at, these right-wing militia groups and so forth, you see movements that are very serious. They're ready to lay down their lives, And for the most part, we have not seen that from the left. So, I want to see some left-wing militias. I want to see some of us out there with guns, and we have seen that in the black community, from some people. There have been folks out there with their guns, marching against police violence and so on with their, discipline and with force and a show of power, and that's serious. But we have not seen, by and large, left-wing militias, working on a variety of issues, willing to step forward and do the sort of things that the right-wing militias have. And, that's an inspirational movement. It's fucked up. It's racist as all hell. It's got horrible politics. But it's inspirational. They're doing something big. And on the right wing, even the people who disagree with them, they know that that's something. You know what I mean? So, I look at what the Kurds are doing right now. That's a real resistance movement, And it's happened in the past. It can happen again. But we need people to get really serious about this stuff. So I recommend checking out that book. I wrote a review of it recently and put it on the DGR Eugene website. So you can check that out, And again, look, I don't care if you agree or disagree with me on various political issues. But as a whole, the left needs to get serious, We should have been serious under Obama, but most people weren't. And now we've got Trump taking office, and things are going to get a lot worse. It's the naked face of empire now. Not that it wasn't under Obama, but things are going to get worse, so it's time.